Hey, yo, what's goody?
How's everybody doing? I hope everybody's doing good. And for this podcast, I have a special treat for you guys. This one is called 10 Things You Should Never Say to Your Partner. Now, I know words can have a very, very strong feeling for people. And words can actually make or unmake a relationship. And it's obvious that communication is the cornerstone of every successful relationship. But just as words have the ability to build up, they also have the power to tear down. And relationships are fragile, and all it takes is one snarky comment or a remark to tear down months or years of a good and healthy relationship. So, with that being said, the first one is saying you always or you never. So phrases like you always or you never, they carry a lot of weight. And how truthful are you being when you're saying something like you never help with the kids? Or is it truly your partner that never helps? Or that, they work late and they only help when they can? So if you think about it, there's a big difference when saying you always or you never. Instead of saying, you always or you're never and assassinating your partner's character, with hurtful and statements just like that, take a minute when you're not in each other's throats and acknowledge that what your partner does, right? And then ask them if they could find time to help you out in other ways. So that's the first one. The second one is saying, I want to break up during an argument, or I want to divorce during an argument, right? So in a relationship, it's normal for silly arguments to spiral out of control. But what is not normal and what is not okay is to hurl the breakup word around. Unless you're 100% sure that you want to come to that point in your relationship, don't even mention it, right? Because those words hurt, again, like I was saying. And if you haven't, threatening breaking up is nothing more than that. It's just a threat. And you're just essentially communicating that you have one foot out of the relationship and your partner certainly can't feel safe with your commitment anymore. And that's no way to feel when you're in a relationship, right? You want to feel safe. You want to feel secure. You don't want your partner doubting you. You don't want your partner thinking that after every argument, you're going to break up with them. That's no way to feel. So the third one is telling your partner, I make more money than you, right? Bringing up who pays for what, bringing up who does what for what. That will never get you anywhere, right? And it shouldn't matter who makes more money, because at the end of the day, you're a team, right? Or you should be a team, that you're building a life together. So whatever belongs to you or whatever belongs to your partner as well, because if you're living with this person, then you're a team, right? So the money that's coming in from you will eventually go to your partner too, because you guys have to buy groceries, you guys have to buy stuff for the house, and you're both using these things. So just don't make it obvious that you're making more money, because who is that helping? It's just helping your own ego. So, like, for example, if a woman makes more money than her husband or her man, or if they're not married, there's certainly no problem with that. However, the problem comes in when she just decides to buy things like, jewelry, makeup, materialistic shit, or just pay huge bills without discussing it with her partner ahead of time, right? So it's actions like this that kills the man's ego and pride, because it's in the nature of a man to give and provide for his family. And if that's not what's happening, it breaks him down. So number 4, telling your partner you're overreacting or calm down, right? You're too sensitive, right? Why are we telling our partner this when we don't understand why our partner feels a certain way, right? We tend to forget that just because we might not understand how they feel doesn't mean that their feelings aren't justified. Your partner's emotions are always, always valid, and they need to be heard, not dismissed, right? Something else that you can say would be like, I can understand why you feel that way, but maybe tomorrow you will feel different about it. Let's see how we can go about the issue, right? Let's see how we can talk about it. And maybe tomorrow, if you're still feeling the same way, we can brainstorm on how things that we can do together or that you can do can make you feel better. So the number 5, saying nothing and then sighing when your partner asks you what's wrong, right? Saying nothing is probably the worst thing that you can say in a relationship, but a lot of people serve up the silent treatment, right? When they're upset about something. While there is a place to reserve your words when you feel like you're being irrational, there's a big difference between holding your tongue and the silent treatment, right? So refusing to talk to your partner is not only an immature way to communicate that you're upset in a relationship, but it's also a form of punishment and manipulation. So giving your partner the cold shoulder ultimately does more harm than good, and it hinders communication and finding solutions to your relationship problem. So I understand that you don't want to speak in the moment, right? Because you might be upset or anything. But communicate that, right? Don't just say nothing. Tell your partner what's going on. Don't leave them wondering. Number 6, saying shut up. Oh my gosh. Saying shut up, that tends to spill out in the middle of a fight, right? When a partner is upset or annoyed. But saying shut up is highly aggressive. Can you please be quiet? It can deliver the same message in a calmer manner. That doesn't feel so violent, especially in an argument. If your partner says shut up to you, you should feel totally comfortable showing them the door and quietly walking away until everything is calm. Number 7, you're such a failure. Telling your partner you're such a failure. Hearing these words is like branding failure into your soul. You can't take them back. Even if they were uttered in anger and rage, they will linger and become a self-fulfilling prophecy. You will literally start to believe that. That is verbal and emotional abuse and psychological abuse. Number 8, I don't care. Saying that you don't care, it stimulates a primitive fear of abandonment in most people and can make your partner feel worthless. Being in a loving relationship means always caring about your partner no matter what. So right in the moment, you don't care, but that's not how you really feel. So don't say what you don't mean, right? Let's just talk about what we do mean and not just say things because we're so upset in the moment. Number 9, you are crazy. Oh my gosh, this is absolutely a big no for me, right? Crazy? Crazy is a term that men have been using to describe women for way too long. Because men sometimes don't know how to deal with normal adult behavior, like wanting to have conversations or being heard. If your partner even calls you crazy, this is an immediate indicator that they don't value you as a person and are trying to write you off in a box of crazy so that they can stop listening. Over time, if it hasn't already, this is going to tear and wear you down to the extent that you'll feel that you don't know anymore if you actually aren't crazy. Because your partner is going to keep telling you and telling you and telling you that you're crazy, so you're going to actually start believing it. Right? Much like the you're such a failure, that's also psychological abuse. And number 10, the last one, saying that your mother is so blank, right? When you're mad, leave their mother out of it, right? The same goes for kids. The same goes for other people's family members, right? It's hard to recover from denigrating parents and children, even if it was in the heat of a moment. Right? Even if it was in the heat of an argument, you can't come back from these things. You can't come back from saying these mean things to your partner because words hurt, right? Like I said before, 10 things you should never say to your partner because words, they can make or unmake a relationship. It is obvious that communication is the cornerstone of any successful relationship, and we have to try our best if we want to be with our partner to keep it that way. Thank you. Thank you for listening to this podcast. I really appreciate each and every one of you listening to my stories, to my advice. I am so grateful to have a community of people that I can just talk to. If you have any stories or anything that you'd like to send, I'm going to leave an email in the description box below to storiesfromthepastchannel@gmail.com so that you guys can send me your stories, your advice, your anything. And if you'd like, I can show it on my podcast. So thank you so much, and I'll see you guys on the next one.